Hey, have you ever thought about the status of women in Libya? It's such an interesting and complex topic.
Absolutely, it's a subject that deserves a lot of attention. The status of women in Libya has gone through significant changes over the years, especially considering the political and social upheavals the country has experienced.
Definitely. Before we delve into the current situation, it might be helpful to understand the historical context. Libyan women have a long history of involvement in their society, even before the modern state of Libya was established. In pre-colonial times, women played essential roles in their communities, contributing to various aspects of social and economic life.
That's true. However, during the colonial period, which lasted until the mid-20th century, Libyan women, like many women in colonized nations, faced discrimination and limited opportunities. It wasn't until Libya gained independence in 1951 that there were gradual improvements in women's rights.
Right after independence, Libyan women gained the right to vote and participate in political activities. This was a significant step forward, considering the limited rights they had during the colonial era. But even with these improvements, challenges persisted, especially in more conservative and rural areas.
Yes, and it's interesting to note that during Muammar Gaddafi's regime, which lasted for more than 4 decades until 2011, there were efforts to promote women's rights. Gaddafi's government implemented policies to increase women's participation in various sectors, including education and the workforce. However, critics argue that these policies were often symbolic and didn't address underlying issues such as gender-based violence and traditional patriarchal norms.
Absolutely. And when the Arab Spring protests began in 2011, Libya underwent significant changes. The subsequent civil war and the overthrow of Gaddafi's regime had both positive and negative implications for women. On one hand, the new government pledged to uphold women's rights and encouraged their participation in the reconstruction process.
That's true, but on the other hand, the instability and insecurity following the revolution had a detrimental impact on women. Reports of gender-based violence, including sexual assault and harassment, increased during this period. Additionally, the breakdown of law and order made it challenging for women to access essential services like health care and education.
Right, and even after the conflict subsided, the situation remained complex. Women in Libya continue to face various challenges, including limited representation in political offices and decision-making positions. There are also concerns about the persistence of harmful practices like child marriage and female genital mutilation (FGM) in some communities.
Yes, those are significant concerns. Efforts have been made by both local and international organizations to address these issues. Various NGOs and women's rights activists in Libya have been working tirelessly to raise awareness, provide support services, and advocate for policy changes to improve the status of women in the country.
It's inspiring to see the resilience and determination of Libyan women despite the challenges they face. Education and awareness campaigns have been crucial in empowering women and challenging traditional gender norms. Additionally, the younger generation, particularly women, has been actively involved in social and political movements, advocating for gender equality and women's rights.
Absolutely. The younger generation's involvement is essential for creating lasting change. Education, economic empowerment, and legal reforms are vital aspects of improving the status of women in Libya. By addressing these areas, society can work towards creating an environment where women can fully participate in all aspects of life without facing discrimination or violence.
I couldn't agree more. It's important for the international community to continue supporting these efforts and to amplify the voices of Libyan women. By fostering collaboration between governments, NGOs, and local communities, there's a better chance of creating meaningful and sustainable improvements in the status of women in Libya.
Definitely. Ultimately, achieving gender equality in Libya requires a multifaceted approach that includes legislative reforms, educational initiatives, economic opportunities, and cultural awareness campaigns. By addressing the root causes of gender inequality and empowering women, Libya can pave the way for a more inclusive and equitable society where every woman can fulfill her potential.